Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the second ever installment of my brand new political show. Tonight's biggest story has to do with the Iran deal, which was originally proposed to us by Trump at the G7. Or, sorry, it wasn't proposed to us by Trump. It was by, I don't know his name. He's a public official. But it was presented to us as a, like, end all be all peace deal. But we're receiving word tonight that it's not exactly what we thought it would be. But before we get to that, let's begin. So the document is titled The Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding between the United States of America and the Islamic Republic of Iran. By the way, my source is CNN. I'm reading a CNN article among several others. It's not just CNN, but um, so yeah, essentially, this was originally proposed to us as a deal. It was supposed to be like, this is it. This is the deal. Iran's not going to make any more weapons, like it's or nuclear weapons. Iran's not going to make any more nuclear weapons, and this was going to be just how it was going to be. It was supposed to be a big win for the United States, but then we slowly started learning more and more, and let's just say it's not too good. A little bit more. The memorandum is due to be formally signed Friday, which is going to trigger a 60-day window. During the 60-day window, the things signed in the memorandum are going to be in effect, but then the memorandum also isn't, it's not everything. So they have to discuss more. And during this discussion period, hopefully they're supposed to land on a final agreement. The United States of America and the Islamic Republic of Iran have jointly signed in good faith on date. It's yet to be signed. It's going to be this Friday, which is going to be the 19th of June. So 6/19 on the following. Number one, the United States of America and the Islamic Republic of Iran and their allies in the current war are signing this MOU to declare the immediate and permanent termination of military operations on all fronts, including in Lebanon, and undertake from now on to not initiate any war or military operation against each other. There's a little bit more there, but I think you guys get the gist. The point of this point is essentially that's it. It's a ceasefire there. And now this isn't the first time there's been a ceasefire signed, but it is the first time where Lebanon's been included in the deal. I mean, look, I'll just read you a snippet. It says to declare the immediate and permanent end termination of military operations on all fronts, including in Lebanon. Then later down we go on. It says and to refrain from the threat or use of force. So they're going as far to say the threat or use of force on each other, including ensuring the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Lebanon. So three times in this paragraph, I haven't read the third time, but three times in this paragraph it says Lebanon. So this is honestly the biggest point, I think. I think this is the biggest point of this deal because it's the first time Lebanon has been mentioned in any significant manner. And well, it's a win. We'll say it's a win. But we scroll down and it says number two, the United States of America and the Islamic Republic of Iran undertake to respect each other's sovereignty and territorial integrity and to refrain from interfering in each other's external affairs. Nice. Still no mention of Israel, by the way. Israel is not mentioned in this document anywhere, oddly enough. The United States of America, number three, the United States of America and the Islamic Republic of Iran commit to negotiating and achieving the final maximum deal our deal in a maximum of 60 days, extendable with mutual consent. So let's get this straight. The 60 days, that's not even, it could be more than that. We don't know. It's probably going to be more than that. I mean, Trump's gone as far to say that if Iran doesn't agree to a deal, he'll just bomb them again. So we're not getting anywhere here quite yet. I mean, we're getting something, but it's not exactly what everyone would have hoped. Number four, immediately upon the signing of this MOU, which, by the way, if I didn't explain, MOU is Memorandum of Understanding, like the title of the document is just explaining. Immediately upon the signing of this MOU, the United States of America will begin the removal of its naval blockade and any disturbances or impediments against the Islamic Republic of Iran, and will fully end the naval blockade within 30 days. During this period, the traffic of vessels will be in proportion to the numbers of pre-war traffic being restored by the Islamic Republic of Iran. The United States of America further undertakes to remove its forces from the proximity of the Republic of Iran within 30 days of the final deal. Boom. That's basically crazy. So we're basically getting at here is the United States is done. They're pulling out. The strait is gone. There is no block, or the strait's not gone, but the blockade's gone. That's just it. It's just over. So that's a big deal. So initially, when you would see this, you'd be like, okay, cool, the United States is pulling back. What do we get in return? Well, upon the signing of this MOU, the Islamic Republic of Iran will make arrangements using its best efforts for the safe passage of commercial vessels with no charge. So essentially, they're removing the toll, which is good, for 60 days only. Only 60 days. From the Persian Gulf to the Sea of Oman and vice versa. The traffic of commercial vehicles will immediately start, and considering the need for removing the technical and military obstacles and demeaning by the Islamic Republic of Iran will be reinstated within 30 days. The Islamic Republic of Iran will conduct a dialogue with the Sultanate of Oman to define the future administration and maritime services in the Strait of Hormuz. So this is big. While the United States pulls out, Iran's not even saying they're gonna get rid of the tolls. They're not saying that yet. All they're saying is 60 days. We're gonna talk to Oman. We're gonna see what's up. Truthfully speaking, Iran outpowers Oman. There's nothing technically forcing their hand here. If in 60 days or sooner, if the deal breaks, there's a high likelihood that they could just reinstate the tolls, the fees. We'll see. Number 6, the United States of America undertakes with regional partners to develop a definitive, mutually agreed plan with at least $300 billion for the reconstruction and economic development of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Another big thing. Now, so far we have 2 concessions made by the United States. Number 1, the blockade's gone. Number 2, now we're giving them $300 billion. So on top of the closer to $600 million that was spent in just the day-to-day operations of this war, we now have 600 plus 300, $900 billion, closer to $1 trillion spent on this war alone. What did we get? 14 American lives lost. So far, nothing. Let's keep going. The United States of America undertakes to terminate all types of sanctions against the Islamic Republic of Iran. 3 things. Now we have 3 things. We're only on point number 7 out of 14. So now we have agreed the United States they're going to unsanction Iran, including in the UNC. They're gonna remove the naval blockade, and we're gonna spend $300 billion to give Iranian infrastructure a boost. Okay, so now what are we doing? What are we doing here now? Can someone explain? Like, I genuinely don't understand. Why are we falling short here? So then, after we have that, we get the Islamic Republic of Iran reaffirm. The Islamic Republic of Iran reaffirms that it shall not procure or develop nuclear weapons. Initially, that seems like wow, that's an amazing thing. And then you look at history. Iran's been saying this for 50 years. 50 years they've been saying, we're not going to develop nuclear weapons. That's not going to happen. We're not going to do anything. We're the good guys. And then they end up doing it anyways. They're still enriching. It's still happening. So we're now at a point where we've given $600 billion and we're right back where we started, if not before. A big thing about when you're looking at this is you have to think about Iran or Trump pulling out of the Obama deal. In 2018, there was a deal that essentially solidified that Iran would agree to IAEA checks. I don't honestly know what the organization stands for. If I believe it's the International Atomic Energy Agency, and essentially what it does is they are the middlemen for a lot of these nuclear deals, similar to like the Non-Proliferation Treaty, which what they do is if there's a deal or there's nuclear happenings, they'll be in the middle. They'll inspect the places to make sure that nuclear bombs aren't being built. We had that under the Obama deal in 2018. Trump repealed that deal because he said it wasn't weak, it was too weak. I think here Trump expected himself to get a second term and for him to be able to go and get a better deal, but that never came. So then we had an entire administration where Iran was free to build nukes, basically. And because of that, they scaled back the IAEA searches. They stopped doing it, and then basically now we're in a state where we went through this massive war. We killed 14 Americans. We spent all this money, and we're right back where we started in 2018, if that. We don't know how much Iran's going to agree to this deal. We don't know if they're going to ever go back to how they were. It's possible Iran may still develop a nuke. We're not there, and we don't know what's happening. And quite frankly, we need to go back to where it was. Number 9, pending the final deal, the United States of America and the Islamic Republic of Iran agreed to maintain the status quo. What was the status quo? The status quo was, well, it depends what type of status quo you're talking about. If you're talking about after 2018, it's Iran enriching uranium and building nukes in private. If you're talking private to prior to 2018, it's a more peaceful Iran, not a super peaceful Iran, but it was at least something. Number 10, this is the biggest one. The United States of America undertakes that immediately upon signing of this MOU and until the termination of sanctions, the U.S. Department of Treasury will issue waivers for the export of Iranian crude oil, petroleum products, and derivatives, and all associated services, including banking transactions, insurances, transportation, etc. Gosh, guys. So now let's count this. We got $300 billion, the lifting of all sanctions, oil waivers. So now, remember all that oil, all the things about the Iran war is great for the economy. Look at all the oil coming to America. That's gone. So that's 3 things. What else do we have? We have. I mean, wait, hold on. What else do we have? What else did we have? What else do we have? Yeah. So we have these 3 things, probably more. I can't think of it right now. So we have these 3 things, these 3 massive concessions, and then what does the United States get in return? Not a whole lot of anything. We get Iran might agree to more nuclear inspections. We don't know. We don't know what's up with Iran. There's a chance. There's a major chance that Iran might get what they got before during the 2018 deal, which was the major thing that Republicans had the issue with, which is where Iran was being notified of the inspections prior to them coming, so they were just hide all the evidence. There's a chance that might happen again. We don't know. And what are we spending? We're risking absolutely everything. That's right. That was the 4th thing. The 4th thing was us just completely pulling out of the strait. So now we have 4 major concessions. And so far, Iran kind of has one concession. Not even really. They're not even saying to definitively, Iran, you can't build nukes. They're just saying you have to submit to inspections. That's kind of ridiculous. Number 11, the United States of America undertakes to make fully available for the frozen. The United States of America undertakes to make fully available for the use of frozen or restricted funds and assets of the Islamic Republic of Iran upon the implementation of this MOU this Friday. 5 major concessions. What does this mean? Well, upon the going of the war, the United States is a major middleman arbiter of the economy. They have the global dollar. That's what everyone trades with, is the USD. So because of this, they were able to use their economic leverage to essentially freeze a lot of overseas Iranian assets. This was significant because now we have economic leverage over them. However, upon the signing of the MOU this Friday, we're giving that up. 5 major concessions so far. So far, we're counting that. I'm going to repeat it. 5 major concessions. What are we getting in return? Why are we signing this? This is, I don't get it. So now we no longer have any economic leverage over them. We don't have any military leverage because our Navy's gone. And number 3, we don't even have our sanctions. We don't have any sanctions and we get nothing. Number 12, the United States of America and the Islamic Republic of Iran will agree to that an executive mechanism will be established to monitor the successful implementation of this MOU. What that executive mechanism could be, we don't know. It could be anything. My guess is that it's probably going to be some sort of like a council. I've even thought about Trump. He might even use the Board of Peace that he's been working on to try and like do something there. I think I genuinely don't know. It's interesting to look at. I don't actually really honestly know what Trump's planning here. I don't know if anyone knows. Trump's kind of a wild card. But the big thing here is the word exclusive. It says the United States of America and the Islamic Republic of Iran will start to begin negotiations exclusively on the other paragraphs. That's a big deal because some of the things mentioned in this, or some of the things not mentioned in these paragraphs, are also big deals. A big thing when we were going into war with Iran a big talking point was, oh, look, Iran's doing human rights abuses. Human rights abuses here, there, there. Look, they're cutting off Wi-Fi for their citizens. They're cutting off electricity for their citizens. We're getting seen uh, ideas of Iranian hospitals being shut down because they're trying to suppress their citizens, which is true. That did happen. But nowhere in these paragraphs is that mentioned. Is Iran going to stop oppressing their citizens? They're probably not, and it's not mentioned anywhere in these paragraphs. So now we have a war. Oh, which by the way, another big thing is we were also promised oil. I want to remind us that I know we're tired of the oil wars, but we were promised oil. Where's our oil? I don't see anything. I see us giving Iran more oil. I see us giving Iran more money. We're giving them waivers so that they can go trade outside. Their oil, which is a direct competitor to us, that's a concession. What? We're at six concessions now. Seven concessions if you count the fact that we're letting them skate by on the human rights abuses. I mean, honestly, we don't really seem to care that much about rights abuses. We let it happen in Israel all the time. They're our greatest ally. But midterms are coming up, and I think Trump might be scared. I'm gonna put it out there. I think he's scared. I think he wants to get this gone. I think he wants to get it out of the media as quick as possible. There's a reason that Trump wasn't the one presenting this memorandum. He doesn't want his face attached to it. I think he's gonna let JD take the fall for this one. JD was the one who brokered the deal. JD is the one who made all the big promises about the deal. I think Trump is going to let JD take the fall for this one because, in the end, if Trump still has his legacy, maybe he can use it in the midterms. Maybe he can find something there. Um, Number 14, if you're curious, it says the final deal will be endorsed by a binding UNSC resolution. It's not too big of a thing, honestly, but it doesn't mean that China's on board with the deal, which is, I guess, a good thing. It's always nice to have China on your side, but I mean, so yeah, so there we have it. 14 points, 14 concessions. Honestly, it's ridiculous. We have a list of concessions, but it doesn't stop there. So, me personally, I like to believe this deal to be a surrender. I don't see any. I don't see anywhere here where the United States wins. I don't see anywhere here where any of this was worth the 14 American lives that were lost. I don't see anywhere where this is worth all the Iranian lives that were lost. You have to remember that going into a war, you're not just responsible for the people on your side. You're also responsible for the people you're killing on the other side. Even if the people are bad, those people still have families. There are always civilian casualties in war. That happens by accident, by purpose sometimes. And it happened to happen here. It was a big deal. Did those people die for any good reason? If this memorandum is where it ends, then I would say no. What does Iran think of this deal? We already know what the US thinks. I'm sure Trump's going to boast about how it's the biggest victory ever. I think the American public would probably disagree, but I digress. What does Iran think of this deal? Well, the Iranian president, I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name, but he says, quote, "The memorandum of understanding that has been drafted is the result of months of dialogue and persistent follow-ups, and all of its positions and if all of its provisions are properly implemented, it can be considered a document of pride for the country." Settles it right there. Even Iran considers it a good deal. They consider it prideful. How are we? We are supposed to be the greatest country on earth, and we are going to let a terrorist state in the Middle East do this to us. Prideful. We went into a war we couldn't win, or actually we could have won, but we didn't have the approval of Congress. Trump decided to abuse his power there, and we ended up coming out realizing that it was too expensive, it was too costly, it was too time consuming. It wasn't popular at all because no one wanted to go to war. No new wars, whatever happened to that. And we ended up pulling out. And then now we have a country in the Middle East that sets a precedent that if you just waste enough time, if you just make a war unpopular enough, that you can get the United States to submit. You can get the United States to surrender. This is a surrender deal. There is no doubt about it in my mind. This deal is a surrender. Why are we doing this? I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. Now we go down. Iran had to say this is a media person speaking. There's Iranian media is still ran by the state, so technically it's still a state person, but I give it a bit of a grain of salt. They say forcing Iran to surrender through coercion is nothing but an illusion. Mutual respect in diplomacy is far wiser, safer, and more sustainable than war. Now we're getting an Iran that's openly admitting that they're not going to bend to the US rule. The United States doesn't play a part on them. They are able to fight against that. They are riding their high horses here. We need to do something. We need to either we started this war. I don't think we should have ever started it. I think it was a bad idea, but I think now that we're here, we need to get something out of it. We need to prove, we need to better our image. We're getting laughed at. Iran is laughing at us. China is laughing at us. Russia is laughing at us. Now that we have this, that's another thing. Who's to say China now, with their Taiwan deal, isn't going to go and do something and invade Taiwan? They know the United States is capable of backing down. If they just get the United States public on their side, if they're just able to make this war costly enough, they know Trump will back down. That's what he does. Trump is a back down guy. He never. What's the saying? Trump always chickens out. Taco. It's honestly so stupid. I don't like the liberal like. I don't typically agree with the liberal acronyms, but it's true. He does back out. He just backed out of this war. He killed Americans, and then now we got nothing out of it. We got worse. This is worse than Obama. What are we doing? Then we go down. It says Foreign Ministry spokesperson says Iran's defensive capabilities will not be discussed in any process or any parties. Quotations our ballistic missiles are only meant to be fired, not to be negotiated. There we have it. Now, so in case from earlier when we brought up the point where the everything not in the paragraphs is not going to be discussed, they really mean it. They're drawing a red line here. Don't believe me? Check my sources in the description. I'm not lying. Iran is now saying that they're mocking us. They're saying our missiles are only meant to be fired, not to be negotiated. Their missiles are from the 90s. Their missiles are from the Soviet Union. Why are we not able to do something about this? They're saying this, it gets me heated because I don't understand it. Why are we letting this happen? Why, Trump? Why? It's genuinely my only question. Does Trump value the midterms more, or does he value the lives of the Americans that were spent fighting this war? Thank you guys all so much for watching. Please leave a comment down below, subscribe, like. If you disagree with what I have to say, please let me know down in the comments. Argue with me. I'll respond. I promise to respond to everything. If you agreed with me, comment down below and let me know why too. This will be one of many videos I will probably make on Iran. So if you liked it, let me know.